Hey guys, welcome back to the video. Today I'm going to show you how to build this infested block farm for Minecraft 1.18.1 and above. Now you may be wondering how this would be useful in any way, and for the most part it isn't very useful because you can use other spawners to get a lot more XP, but you can use these blocks to store the mobs themselves, which means that you can later break them out by damaging some silverfish, and the good way to do that is with something like a poison potion, and then all the blocks will break if you have them stored, and you can kill them all at once to get a bunch of XP at once, which is very nice. And then you can also use it to mess with people by placing infested blocks all over the place by pushing them around your world. So this farm works by having the silverfish spawner up here, which you can find in the stronghold, which as you can tell because of this end portal right here. And basically with the spawner here, they'll spawn in this big area and then they'll drop down and get flowed by the water into this hole right here. And then when they're right here, there'll be this cobblestone block next to them. And basically, this comes from the cobble generator over here. And when the silverfish lands in here, since this block is right next to it, it will be able to go into the block and infest it, which will make the silverfish disappear, and it will actually update this observer because the block has changed. And then that will fire this piston, which will go backwards, and then activate this piston. And then that will activate this redstone line here, which does a bunch of things. The first thing it does is activate this piston right here, which is the one that stops silverfish from coming in. And the reason we do that is because we're going to have to push some silverfish over. And the reason for that is that when we get a new cobblestone block right here, we want to wait a little bit for silverfish to go into it, because otherwise that could break something if the observer isn't able to detect it fast enough, or if there isn't a cobblestone block ready. And then what we do is we push the silverfish over a block. And the way we do that is by activating this piston right here, and then activating this one over here, and this one's hooked up to a redstone torch so that it will retract instead of extend, and then they'll kind of swap depending on where the silverfish need to be. And then obviously they can't go inside this block right here because this one will already be infested. But once it does all happen, the last thing that happens is this will get activated over here, which goes into a monostable circuit, which will activate this piston, and that will push the cobblestone block from the cobble generator, and that will go over here. And the reason we have this command block right here is just so that when the cobblestone block goes over it, it will just set it to air instead. So this command block isn't necessary at all. It just makes it easier for testing it. And then after this piston gets activated, there'll be some delay, and that's just to give it enough time for cobblestone to generate, and then it will activate this piston again, which will retract it, and everything will turn off again. And then this piston will actually reset because it will detect when the cobblestone gets pushed over, and then it's ready for the next group of silverfish to come over. And if you'd like to build this thing, then there is a world download for this in the description below that also has this chest, which has all the materials in it, as you can see. If you'd like, you can pause the video and get all the materials right here. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is find a stronghold, which will have the silverfish spawner inside of the end portal room, and you're going to be using that to spawn the silverfish for this farm. Once you found that, you're going to want to dig out an area that goes one block upwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks in all the horizontal directions, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks downwards, and then surround this area with blocks that can't let light through, so that we don't lower the rates of the silverfish spawner, and then also put blocks behind the end portal frame in the back, so that we don't let light seep in through the little gaps in the end portal frame. And then you don't have to worry about destroying the end portal frame either, as you could use glitches to destroy them, but for this I just decided to leave them here since they don't impact the efficiency that much. But if you really wanted to, you could remove them with a couple of glitches. Once you've done that, it should look just like this, and remember to place blocks behind these end portal frames as well, stop light from the outside from coming in and lowering the rates of your silverfish. And then once you've done that, you're going to want to place water in these two corners, and it should be on the side with your end portal frame on it. And then you can break the blocks that are at the end of the water, just like this. And from there, you're going to want to extend this one block deep hole, going all the way to the rest of these blocks, going in this direction. Once you've done that, it should look just like this. And then you're going to want to come back up here and place glass blocks on top of the spawner, as well as these exposed blocks above the end portal frames, just like this, to stop silverfish from spawning up here and stopping other silverfish from spawning. And then come down here and go on the block where this air block is, and then go 1, 2 blocks to the right, and place this block with tinted glass. Then you're going to want to come over to this block with the air on it again, and then go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. And then from here, you're going to want to make a hole that goes from down here to up here, and also 1, 2 blocks in this direction, 1, 2 blocks in this direction, 1, 2 blocks in this direction, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks in that direction at least. But I'd recommend making it at least a couple blocks wider on every single side so that it's easier to build this thing, because the redstone gets pretty compact when you're in there, especially when you can't go around to build this in survival. And then also, if you're going to make something to store the infested blocks, then I would definitely recommend at least going a lot of blocks in this direction, and probably downwards and upwards as well, just so that you have a ton of room to build something to store all those blocks. Once you've done that, it should look just like this, with enough room to start building the redstone. So then you're going to want to come up here and place a block that will stop light from coming into the farm, and then put a sticky piston behind it, facing just like that, and then put a piston below this block right here, and then a temporary block right here, with a transparent block on the side and on the bottom, as well as a block right here, which we'll be destroying later. And this is basically just used as a filler block to replace the cobblestone that will be coming to the farm from the cobblestone generator. And then you can break this block right here and place another one of those temporary blocks, and then place a block right here and a block right here, and a piston that will be facing this direction right here. Then come over here and place a sticky piston, which will be right next to your other sticky piston like this, and place a block right here with a block that will block light right there, and a stair right here, and it doesn't matter which type of stair it is. And then place a block right here, break this block, and put water inside of that stair, just like that. Then place a block right here with a block right there, and then a block right here and a block below that. And you can break this block and put an observer facing against this red glass right here. And then you're going to want to put some lava in here, and it should turn into cobblestone because of that water we placed up here. Once you've done that, come over to this observer right here and place a sticky piston against it like that, and place an observer facing upwards just like that. Then place a temporary block right here and a temporary block right there, with a sticky piston facing the opposite direction of this one up here, and then break these temporary blocks. And then place a redstone block against that, a temporary block right here, and another temporary block against that, and then place a block below that, break these two temporary blocks, and place redstone dust on top of that. Then go one more block out to the side with another piece of redstone dust on top, and a solid block against that piece of redstone. And then place a block right here with a block against that, and break this temporary block, and put a repeater right here, and this one will be on 3 ticks, just like that, and put a solid block against that with a redstone torch on top, and a piece of concrete just like that. And then you're going to want to place some redstone dust on top of that with a block right here, another piece of redstone dust on top with another block against that, and another piece of redstone dust right here with a block and another piece of redstone dust just like that. And then place a block right here with a redstone repeater, which will be on 4 ticks, and a target block right here against this piston. After that, place a block right here with a block against that, and then place some redstone dust on top of each of those blocks. And then place a solid block right here with a temporary block against that, and a solid block against that, and then a block below that. And you can break this block and put a redstone repeater right here, which will be on 4 ticks, and place a piece of redstone dust on top. And come over here and place a block right here, a sticky piston beneath it, just like that, a block right here, and then a redstone repeater on top, which will be on 1 tick, and then put a block right here. Then come over to this side and go 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks in this direction, and all of these blocks should have repeaters on them, which will be on 4 ticks. So 1, 2, 4, 4, 4, and then have to get in here and place a repeater like that. And then place a block right here with a sticky piston beneath it, and then a solid block on the other side with a piece of redstone dust, and then place a temporary block right here with a block below it and a solid block on the side, and then break this block and put a redstone repeater, which will be on 1 tick. Once you've done that, you're done with this farm, but you probably want to get rid of these red blocks right here still. So to do that, you can break this observer right here, and then replace this with a cobblestone block. So then you can place this observer back, and then you can start spawning some silverfish. So to do that, you just toggle them on. So however you had them toggled off before, if you did at least, then you can just toggle them on. I just had the difficulty on peaceful, but you probably have in survival some light blocks, or maybe just a bunch of blocks stopping them, and then soon some silverfish should fall in, as you can see, and then eventually one of them should go in, and the farm should work as normal. There, one went in, and they all got pushed. And then once that's happened, you can break this block at the end and use this farm like normal. And then if you want to, you can just toggle it off again like that. But after that, the farm is completely finished, so if you liked the video, then please leave a like. If you really enjoyed it, then please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!